Okay, interesting. Like at first I do feel the angelic
Hmm.
energy, but they're showing me like a more oceanic, like very water planet. You're from Mintaka. I think like so that's the first origin I see is that you came from Mintaka. It's the oceanic planet. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's part of the Orion. They have a lot of mermaids. There are a lot of aquatic animals, aquatic beings,
Hmm.
humanoids. They got all sorts of different types of oceanic species, and it's like a very paradise, a place of paradise.
I didn't know that. I mean, I never related to that for myself. Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, and that's just one portion, but it's
Hmm.
coming up very strongly. So it's a
Okay.
very, the color is like turquoise, the ocean. It's very
Uh-huh.
beautiful. It's like very clear, very deep. And like this place is just, there was no governing, there's no ruler and anything. Like this was just a very fun place for you. Like you're just living your own life, you're
Mm.
happy, everything was like paradise. What I know is like based on the Mintaka history, it was sort of destroyed later on, and there were a lot of parallel reasons why it was destroyed. Some was like a civil war within the Orion because the Orion there was a great divide between the Orion
Mm.
Empire and the good side of Orion. And then
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of civil war, which caused a lot of destruction, and Mintaka was sort of caught in this war.
Hmm.
In the other parallel reality, there were invasions that it was overtaken. What I channeled was by the more of the negative masculine, which
Hmm.
sort of took over Mintaka in a way they instead of that paradise,
Hmm.
they were very deep knowledge seekers and they really like how to say modernize the civilization of Mintaka, making that place like it loses all the paradise nature because all the oceanic and all the nature, the beautiful nature was all gone. So those two are the things I mainly picked up from Mintaka. I do feel that before the destruction happened, I do feel you sort of fled and escaped. I wouldn't even call it escape. It's just that you fled from the scene.
Hmm.
I do get a lot of fiery energy, so I do see this red being. It's an angelic, looks like an angelic, but it's also a spirit. So it looks interesting. So two things, two versions again. They're showing me two pictures. One is the fire, flame spirits, and they look very feminine. They are very feminine. They look beautiful, almost like a goddess. But based on their energy, they are not like they look angelic. They have a more fun nature. They have a more exploring nature, more of the inner child, and they don't
Hmm.
really have a strong like a goal or a purpose, like a very powerful purpose. They don't have that. They're more like carefree and chill. And the
Hmm.
other side I'm seeing is a more mature, angelic. This is also like red, like blazing red. It's fiery. And this angelic being is it's like the blesser. I see them as the blesser that blesses its surrounding with positive pure energy, which helps lifts up a lot of the negative emotion or negative energy around. So you got that gift where you are clairsentient, you are a strong empath, and that subconsciously people around you they feel comfortable, they feel like their negative energy is being lifted up when they are around you. And that's a
Okay.
very powerful gift for you. Yeah, I do see that you are an ancient soul. You're quite ancient, and let me see. It seems that one of your potent past life in this is not on Earth, this is like in the galaxies,
Hmm.
very far away. And this is
Okay.
very ancient. Like
Yeah.
you were traveling like a geologist and you were like checking out some of these ruins, like these planets, this place, like this sacred space that was like once really active, but then you were but then it died, and you were there to
Mm-hmm.
find out if there's anything left in the remains.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this, that there is more to this. There's definitely more to this. Why were you there? So yeah, very interesting. You were involved with the Galactic Council in this particular ancient life, and you were
Okay.
sent in a mission to search for any of all the dying planets of the dying space that was affected by the war, and you were trying to find if there's any survivor, if there's any energy source that are still active in these
Okay.
space, and if there is, you want to try to revive them, and you want to take them back home,
Okay.
anything that was left. So this Galactic Council is very ancient. I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel more like an Orion Council, a high Orion Council. Yeah, it does feel more closer, but they have a lot of water energy. And I
Okay.
believe that so this council is probably very involved with a lot of the roots had a lot of water background, oceanic background. So this
Mm-hmm.
makes it very unique. Yeah, you did fight in the Galactic War. I do feel that you did battle, and this was very, very early life. And
Okay.
I think I'm just trying to get it because the war is actually after. The paradise came first, but for your case, they're showing me that you fought in the war, and then you became tired, and then so you decided to stay in the paradise to
Okay.
sort of rejuvenate, and that's how you get this like very highly enthusiastic energy. Because usually, warriors, they have a more serious, they have a more like masculine energy, but I don't feel it. Like I do feel it from you, but it's more like the feminine and the inner child is more stronger on the surface, but in the deep roots, I do feel that there's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of there's a lot of intelligence inside your soul that's very deep inside your roots, and like
Mm-hmm.
you are the master that have seen a lot.
So currently you see my divine feminine being more active?
On the surface, yes. So on
Okay.
the surface, it's a very strong divine feminine, but when you look closely into the roots of the early origins, like you were more active with the governments, with the Galactic Council. I don't know why I call it government. It's similar. So
Yeah.
you were more heavily with the missions, with traveling to like a space traveler, going to
Okay.
different places from missions,
Okay.
undergoing missions.
Is that connection still alive with the Galactic Council?
It's alive, but like it's connected. But right now you're more like in a state of rejuvenating, and you're kind of trying to find the balance between work and fun. So I would say that right now you're at the later stage. You're more into the rejuvenation, and you're more into the fun from all the battles that has happened in our galactic history. Yeah, that's weird. I'm also seeing the Patals. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it seems like you and Vimy, have a Patal connection together, and I think that's where you have past lives together.
Really? No one told me that about the Patel connection. It's the first time I'm discovering that.
They show this image of the Patals, and they tell me Vimy, and they tell me you and Vimy have that past life together in the Patals. That's where you met each other.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
very hidden. It's like not awakened, so you weren't really aware. A lot of the records are like they're dormant inside you, and once they're awakened, you will feel more connected with the memories. So yeah, you do have a Patal connection too. But the strongest I felt so far is still the Oceanic and the Angelics. Because the Oceanic was your very recent life. The Mintaka life is kind of more recent, whereas the Galactic is more earlier. Yeah, the Angelic is more like a collective soul family group for you. You've been to many places, so that's why there's a lot coming out, like a lot of different origins coming out.
When you say angelic, is it my spirit guides that are from the angelic? I do feel really drawn to them. I pray a lot to the angels, and I do feel drawn. So what does that mean for me? Is it that I've had an incarnation, or is it my spirit guides that are from this angelic family?
It's both. It's both. So you have the incarnation as the fire angelics, and you also have a collective group, a soul family group that is with you on that angelic realm, which are acting as spirit guides for you. There is also a golden angel. There's also the golden beings that are coming out too. I believe that is also part of your spirit guide team. Yeah, are there any questions you would like to ask?
I do. So we're talking about spirit family right now, or soul family. I would like to know if I have any of my, because I feel I have this deep yearning to be connected to my soul family. I mean, of course, I have my family that I'm born with in this life, but I have this constant urge to be connected to my soul family. Like, I feel like that's something that's missing, a big part of me missing. So I'm wondering if any of them have incarnated with me. Will I meet them, or how do I connect with them?
So the first thing that they show me is that a lot of your soul family is like part of the divine team, part of the spirit guide team with you. So they're saying that you're already connecting with them all the time, since they are your spirit guides and they have been there with you throughout this entire lifetime. My advice is you don't need to feel lonely. If you're yearning for that soul family to be with you, I do not feel that there's many of them. There are probably like very few or even none that are incarnated right now, but most of them are with you as part of the team. And if you ever feel lonely, you can connect them through meditation. But they're also saying that whenever you're yearning, know that it doesn't have to be soul family. These are just labels. These are like, you can always manifest the right person for you. And soul family, twin flame, soulmate, they're just labels. It actually also prevents you from having that healthy mindset, because like, oh, she's the one, he's the one. It's like you don't need to know these stuff. I mean, it's okay to know these stuff, but don't get too attached on wanting to find the people, the right people. The right people will come. The right people will come because you're constantly manifesting.
I am curious about, I know it's a very new age concept everyone's talking about now, the twin flame.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know. So far, I haven't discovered that I have one, or if I do, it's incarnated or not.
I do feel that for your case, and for your case, they're showing me that twin flames is something you manifest into your life. It's not like they're there. It's whether if you like ignoring the label. If I ignore the label, it's like you manifesting that person, that person that is right for you. It's actually the same. The twin flame soulmate, it's the same. There's no labeling. It's just that this person is perfect for you. Like, you have the ability to manifest the right person to come to your life. And what I'm trying to say is the twin flame thing it's like a distraction. That it's just a fancy word to make you think that he is the one. I do feel that you need to do your shadow work more. And there's a lot of, because you're an empath, you sort of intake shadows and intake dark energies of others, and also with your angelic origin. Sometimes you take other people's energy without you being aware. And what I would recommend is doing some releasing work to embrace your shadow and release all of those energies that are not yours. Yeah, because on the surface, you're manifesting. Like, I do see that beautiful energy. It's just that there's a lot of shadow. There's some shadow that's not a lot, but there's some shadow that's been suppressed inside you.
Yeah, no, I do feel that my empathic tendencies, if someone is feeling something around me, I start feeling that. I mean, it's not that I'm actively doing a lot of release work, but are they showing me what kind of work I do? Would it be helpful if I work with someone to clear some of those blocks and clear some of those shadows, or is this something I can do on my own?
You can do both. You can do on your own and you can do with others. And on your own, I would recommend the dynamic meditation from Osho. So you don't have to follow it directly. So what I recommend is find a space by yourself, set the intention to let your shadow come out, and allow yourself to express, release, feel any emotions that is suppressed deep inside. Even the bad ones, don't judge. Don't judge yourself based on good and bad, based
Okay.
on high and low. Like allow all the low emotions to express itself
Mm-hmm.
with patience.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also cry and scream as well in that room. If it's like loud, you can like use a pillow and then scream
Okay.
at the pillow or cry at the pillow. Because yeah, I do feel that you are not, you sort of feel, you can feel uncomfortable in huge crowds. And
Yeah.
you're not the type of person that wants to, how should I say, you don't want to be in the center of attention. You feel uncomfortable when a lot of attention is put onto you.
That's true. I do much better with small groups, with just like having one or two people to talk to. That's my comfort zone.
Yes, yes. And that's okay. That's okay. You can keep having that preference for you. And you can keep, I wouldn't say avoid, but not choosing to be in such big crowds.
Is it because of my empathic ability, tendencies that I feel like overwhelmed in big crowds or
It's your empathic tendency, definitely, and that your angelic role that, because society is kind of messy right now and there's a lot of chaotic energies around. So you as an empath do feel these uncomfortable energy, but also your root origin is that your mission tends to be in small groups, in very, very small groups, like one or two to three people, and you don't. And usually these missions are not with communication. I do feel it's not. So you don't really do much communication work in this past life in these missions. It's more like traveling to places and exploring and retrieving and reviving, searching. So a lot of that, and that
Mhm.
and when you say you feel lost in general, it's because you've done a lot of searching in your past life as a mission too. And sometimes you can feel disappointed, like you feel disappointed that you didn't get anything from the search.
Okay.
And that could be work when you do inner work. Try to stop seeking for answers on the outside, but focus on the inside. The answer is all within. Everything that you need to know is all within, but the outside is good for advices. It's good for way other people can look at your blind spot that you can't see for yourself. But most of the answer is within. Are there any other questions you would like to
Yeah,
ask?
I do. So, I just do want to know, like, I feel like a very strong karmic connection with him, that I need to, I don't know, settle in this life. That's kind of the feeling that I get. So I just want to explore more, my relation with him, like what any past that they can show you to kind of shed some light there.
Yes, you do. You two have past life together. One of them is that because he's also a guy that loves exploring civilization. So I do see that you both together were explorers. Like you met him, he seems very independent based on the past life I've seen. He travels to civilizations by himself during his past life, and that's where you met him. Like you were on a mission, and he was traveling because it's his hobby. He loves to see civilization, ancient civilizations, and all that. And you met him in the mission, but he is very. I think it's a soulmate connection. I think that it might feel like a karmic connection because there can be the interest, like what you like and what he likes is very different. And like it's a very good sign that you mentioned that you guys are growing and getting better. That's a very good sign because usually comics they rarely resolve anything, and because they never resolve it, they just end up in breakups and the relationship never returns. And I think it feels right for you because your soul currently desires peace. Your soul wants peace and quiet. And a twin flame connection or a karmic connection, let's say, is very tough. A twin flame especially is very tough because it's like a twin flame connection really triggers you every way possible. Even the karmic, but a karmic is like just one only, but twin flames you go through many different stages. And so what I'm trying to say is your soul wants peace, your soul wants calm. Like your soul isn't really desiring a very burning passion type of relationship.
Okay.
And so that's why you chose him in this lifetime. You know, there are differences, there are some frictions, but I think you both will get along well, and you kind of like you just prefer harmony. You just want harmony in the relationship. So instead of any argument, that's what your soul wants. And I think that it's all good. Like his energy seems to be very peaceful and very kind, like at heart, in his soul.
So is he an ancient soul? Like he has lives beyond Earth?
So he doesn't have that serious ancient soul like yours, like because he's not the guy that partake in missions, but he's ancient in a way because of how he's traveled a lot by himself or in small groups in his past life. He's also an explorer that went to many civilizations, but it's more in a fun way.
I see.
It's more like a pilgrimage type of thing.
That's actually interesting to know. I never thought about our relationship in this perspective. I don't know why I thought it was more karmic or something, because we've had very turmoil times in the past. That's why I thought that maybe it was something just more karmic and something just very earthly. That's why I had that perception.
Almost every relationship today is kind of karmic in a way. Like the deeper the attachment, the deeper the wound there is. But I don't see like an attachment between you two, and that's a very good thing. Like what's so good about having that burning passion? That's just, for me personally, I see that as a heavy attachment that you really crave for that love, when you can learn to give yourself that love and peace by yourself first. And that having that peaceful relationship is much better than having that burning passion of desire, because that's gonna trigger a lot of more conflicts for in the relationship. Yeah, a lot of relationships are karmic nowadays, like almost everywhere.
Yeah.
You rarely see like a truly healthy relationship nowadays.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we're working through those whatever karmic stuff we were born with. I know we're working towards it. I mean, we have come a long way. So that's given me a really beautiful perspective on my marriage with him. That's going to help even more, at least for me.
Yeah, I do feel that if you focus more on your inner work, on yourself,
yeah,
like it will energetically affect him. It's not just feel; it's a fact too. The more inner work you do for yourself, the more it will affect your environment and your surrounding. Like, and when you do this work, when you successfully completed this work, he will start to feel it, and it will feel very uncomfortable for him at first, because it will trigger a lot of his shadow. That's how energies work. The more you are in the state of a higher vibration or more of a freed soul, the more you trigger your surrounding, the close one especially. And that is part of the shadow work. All that triggering is part of shadow work.
Oh, thank you, Ko. That's actually given me such a beautiful perspective on just my marriage in general.
Yeah, it's not really that complicated. It doesn't have to be heavy love at all. Your marriage can be really healthy. Just you two together living a peaceful life. Because being alone is not, it's, being alone, we're not meant to be alone. But at the
Yeah.
same time, we need to balance
Mm-hmm.
between being able to be self-sufficient alone, but also self-sufficient when we're with
Mm-hmm.
others.
Yeah.
Seems like this child have a very strong Arcturian connection. This soul particularly brings out a lot of the Arcturian energies and the Arcturian collective into the family. And it's Arcturians are very intelligent and they're very good at decision making. And
Yeah.
so your family is gonna be like, how should I say, very intelligent in the more serious way. So what I would suggest is to balance that, not to be too serious, is to bring more fun into the family.
Okay.
I do feel that the child will be growing up more quite sensitive. It's a more quiet type. For now, I do feel it's more of a he energy because Octurian is more masculine, but it could be a
Well,
female
you got
too.
it right. Poet is a he.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, well, that's what the doctor's telling us. So,